Welcome everyone to day 4 of 10 days to getting 4 to 5 figure deals, even if you don't have an offer yet or a list or prospects. The past 2 days we've covered how to get an offer, how to find people who can actually afford to pay you 4 to 5 figures, how to set an appointment with them, and today we are going to cover how to get them to say yes to getting with you on the phone. This is going to be a very unique training session because our expert is on the road. Hey, John.
Hey there, you fat. I just want to apologize to everybody, and hopefully we're getting the sound and everything clear. I am here to help you, but unfortunately I've been put in the most ridiculous situation where I was actually kicked out of my conference room due to obviously some unforeseen circumstance 10 minutes before we were about to go live, and I couldn't get a signal in a car park, so and I can't park anywhere. We're in the middle of LA traffic. In the middle of peak hour traffic. So I thought we'd do something a little bit different. We'll go live, going to drive you around the streets of LA with me while I head towards LAX. So super excited to be here with you. And we have a strong link. I'll be able to help you answer questions and more importantly, give you the cool stuff that are going to help you to actually engage and get people to say yes with you on an appointment.
And so what's super cool about these guys, and I always do this because I keep forgetting, the really cool thing about these guys is, first of all, we're going to see a man multitasking. Amazing. And after we're going to see that, we're going to see him driving, listening to you, taking your questions, and actually answering you in real time, helping you create campaigns and messages that will get you clients. So what you want to do is we want to make this more about you and less about information, more access and less content, because the content is out there. John has been sharing it for years. You can find it online. What you don't have is access to John to pick his brain, to get his insights about your specific business and the specific challenges that you're going through. So that's your opportunity today. Jump on in, consultingrocket.tv/live. I see you on the site. Just click the button right below this video. Hop on in, say hi. We're going to go into the content, and then this is all going to be super interactive so that you can get to the next step, right? Tomorrow we are going to talk about the 5 simple steps of the sales process. So now you got an offer, you know who the prospects are, you're getting them on a call. Tomorrow we're going to help you close. Today is all about moving them from the Google spreadsheet into actually talking to you on the phone. Don't worry about what you're going to say on the phone. That's going to be tomorrow. Today is just about getting people to say yes and not feel like you're a spammer. So we covered a little bit of that yesterday. Oh, before we do all that stuff, we have a really fun game. And I'm sorry to say that Francis has lost the first place. And now we have a new leader, which is Lauren. Lauren is beating Francis by about 300 points. Francis is second place, and Robert is really like climbing behind in third place. So Francis, jumping up. The way that these guys are getting all these points is really, really simple. They have a unique link like you do, a referral link. I'm going to share it with you right here. When you come to the win page, you're going to see your specific link right here. I'm not seeing it because I'm not logged in, but you will see your name showing up right here. All they doing is copying this, clicking on one of those social share buttons and sharing that. Every time someone clicks that link, they get 100 points. Every time they're watching a video or training with us right now and they're logged in, they're ranking up the points. And the rewards are really, really awesome. $2,000 fast-tracked coaching program that John has never given before, one-on-one time with John, and the third prize is the $1 million agency recording that's never been shared before. So guys, if you are watching this and you are like pumped and you want to get something to the game, just go over to consultingrocket.tv/live. You're going to see the menu to win, and you can start playing the game with us. So congratulations to Lauren, kicking everybody's behind and actually making it to first place on day 4. Fantastic. So John, I need you to lower your phone a little bit. There we go. And here you are. and let's get into what to do to say yes.
Okay, so we talked about, I'm just going to do a very quick recap, so it's going to create some context for you on how you can generate an appointment, and more importantly, to qualify the prospect, and also to have them agree to make a decision with you based on the service or the offer that you're putting out to the marketplace. So that's what we're going to try and help you with in this presentation today. But I do want to spend some time answering questions or any questions that you have around setting appointments, around selling or closing or converting, or if you need things like niche market questions and those sorts of things. I am here to help you, and that's why I want to make sure that you get the most out of the trainings that we're providing. I know we're in a little bit unique situation where I am multitasking. Let me tell you, I am safe. I am keeping my eyes on the road and occasionally looking down at you. But we are, I've got you loud and clear, so I'll be able to interact with you here on our training. So we've got we've crafted an offer. We've got a list. We started sending out. We started engaging that list, and one of the key things was an offer to teach or to train or to show people how we can help them get a result. Right now, whether you have the skills or whether you reverse engineer or show them a demonstration, you're going to think like, hey, you can do this yourself, or if you'd like, our team can implement this for you. If you're interested, what would you like to do, right? So it's a really easy way to put yourself into a sales opportunity. And for those who've been watching the live trainings, watching the videos of re-recordings, if you've been sending out information, please give us some feedback about your activities, what you're doing out there, because the whole purpose of the situation, just give you a perspective of how quickly this can happen. We've had some people only recently, in fact, today, I presented this very idea that I'm sharing with you, where they made a direct offer to the market and they've generated 8 appointments, and 2 of those people are actually buying. They're investing. They picked up $24,000, and they did that in the space of a couple of hours. So the stuff that I'm teaching you and talking about, if you apply these strategies, you're going to open the door more often than not to an opportunity, and you have the opportunity to engage. So I'm going to give you 2 kind of little script structures that you can use to generate appointments quickly, and to, more importantly, confirm that they're qualified, right? That they are interested, and then, more importantly, to have them say yes, that they're going to make a decision at the end of your presentation on your next call, right? So that's in the sales process. So to just give you perspective, one of the ways to do this is, if you're sending out an email, if you want to do this in a non-direct way, there's nothing stopping you from sending a link to say, hey, if you like this idea and you've replied yes, why don't you hop on my calendar and let's have a quick chat, right? You're inviting people to make a quick chat appointment just to see if this is a fit for them, or to see, hey, can we book a time to share or show or teach you what we know, right? So you can do this in an automated fashion very easily by using something like Calendly or Schedule Once, or there's a whole bunch of appointment setting software. Calendly has a free version. So you can literally just set up a link, send them the link, they hit the link, select the time on your calendar, make a time, and then you've got them into a situation where you're doing a little bit of a qualifying call to see if we are a fit, okay? So here's how the conversation is going to go, right? Just to give you the perspective, when you get somebody on a call, my favorite call to action on any email usually is reply yes, but one that I've been using a lot lately that's been getting some great results is to reply with the best number to contact you on. So please, if you like this idea and you want to know more, please reply with the best number to contact you on. Generally, they're going to give you a cell phone number, or they might give you a phone number and an extension to people. So this is the way that you open yourself up to a direct sales opportunity. So you want to very quickly touch base, and you want to let them know, give them the context of why you're speaking to them, right? Because they've responded to an email. You want to be responding very quickly. When I say you want to be responding very quickly, you want to be responding in a timely fashion. If somebody replies to your invitation, you want to be replying within anywhere between 10 minutes, no longer than an hour. Because after an hour, the kind of people forget what they've replied to. And when you call them, they're going to go, oh, I don't remember doing that. So you're going to put yourself in a back foot situation. So one of the important lessons here is to make sure that if somebody does decide to agree to speak to you, that you connect with them very quickly, preferably within 10 minutes of their reply. Or at least within the hour. Anything after the hour, the conversion rate to an appointment will diminish quite significantly. So our purpose here is to get them to say yes to a proper appointment. So one of the things you want to touch base, and what this is basically, and we're recording this so you can go back and listen to this recording. You can even, if you want to, be sneaky and transcribe what I'm about to say. We're about 11 minutes into this training. And so if you want to timestamp that, if you're watching this. So here's what I would do. Let's say, for example, I offered to teach people how to utilize Facebook, optimize a campaign to generate patients for their health clinic, for their health practice. This could be for a chiropractor, a physical therapist, it could be anybody, right? So what you want to do, here's word for word what I would say. Hey, Yafat, I'm just reaching out to you. I just wanted to, I know I sent you an email and you responded back to that email. If you can give me 60 seconds, you can decide whether or not we should continue the conversation. So let me just share with you. Hey, Yafat, just reaching out to you. I'm just responding to your call and following this up. I know you responded to my email about doing some training or showing you how a Facebook ad campaign can generate more patients for your practice. If you can give me 60 seconds, I can let you know what that's about. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, you can decide. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
So now that person will generally say, yeah, sure, great. So the reason I reached out to you is we essentially specialize in helping people, more importantly, get this end result, get the result of generating a patient for a clinic or generating a client who's interested in making an investment or purchasing decision. And Facebook is one of those areas that a lot of people struggle with. And so what I want to do is, I know that you're interested. What I want to do is if I can ask some really brief questions so that we can set up a time where I can walk through how you get the best results. And at the end of that, you might decide that you need some further help. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
The person's generally going to say yes. So great. So let me ask you, have you had any experience in marketing and advertising on Facebook right now? And most people say, yes, I have, and it's never really worked for us. Or I don't believe it can work for us. And the reason why I agreed to this call is because I guess I'm really interested in how we can possibly make it work. I know that there's an audience out there, and I know that we need to be engaging that audience, but we've just never been able to make it work, or we're kind of struggling, we're spending money, we're getting some results, but I don't believe we're getting the best possible results. So I've agreed to do this, right? So great. Okay, so you're not getting results, you haven't got results. So one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to help you to ideally get the best possible results. And in doing that, I want to kind of marry this up to what's important to you for your business. So if I can ask you a couple of questions, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually practically show you how you can get those results that you're looking for. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
And then they're going to go, yes. Great. So just to give you some context, if you were looking to, because the reason why you're advertising or you're promoting or you want to promote on Facebook is you want to attract a certain number of patients to your practice,
yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then they go, yes, you do. Okay, great. So if we were to say, know that you have a certain number right now, but based on the fact that you sell a plan of care or you sell a product or a service at a certain price point, if you were to increase, look at the increase that you'd like to achieve as an objective, what percentage increase would you like to see, Yafat?
Sorry, I'm muting myself so you won't hear my my
yourself.
tapping. No. What
Oh,
percentage of growth do I want to see? I want to see 20% growth.
Okay, 20% growth. So what I'm going to ask you, just give me a rough idea of if you were to bring 20% more revenue into your practice over the coming year, roughly what would that 20% relate to or equate to in revenue?
So we're talking math.
Just roughly, right? Let's say your business is turning over $2 million and you want to add another $400,000.
Perfect.
Roughly 20%.
There you go.
Okay?
That works.
So you want to add another $400,000 over and above what you're doing now, Yafat, right?
Yes.
Would that be fair?
Yes.
So essentially, what we've got to add is another $35,000 a month in patient revenue. And if your average plan of care is roughly a couple of $1,000s, we essentially need to generate about 15 patients per month over and above what you're doing now to add that $400,000 worth of revenue to your practice. Would that be right?
That would be right.
So what we're trying to do is essentially get 3 more new plan of care patients per week. That's what we're boiling this down to.
Yep.
Now, right now, Yafat, I'm just going to ask you, do you have a current plan that is going to add those 3 patients to generate that $400,000? Do you have a current plan to execute to make that a reality for your practice?
No, I do not.
Okay, so if I were to show you a plan using Facebook, because we know that we can reach your audience on Facebook, if I could show you a plan that could add another 3 and up to 15 new patient plan of cares every single month, right, to your practice, that would be an ideal scenario for you, yes?
That would be fantastic.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do, Yafat, is I'm going to show you, I'm going to literally walk you through how to optimize a campaign, how to open the door to a very simple system and a process to get patients to agree, who are in pain, who need your help, right, to put up their hand and jump in and request a scheduled appointment or book in a scheduled appointment for your practice. And then ultimately, the idea is that you achieve that 15 patients. So to get 15 patients, if we were to be fair, and I want to set expectations here, if I was to send you 10 patients who were interested in at least getting some sort of care, roughly of those 10 patients, how many would you actually bring on to plan of care out of 10?
Well, personally, me, 0, but my sales guy is probably going to bring 5 on.
It's about 50% conversion rate.
50%,
so to be
yes.
able, yeah, 50%. So to be able to get that 15 plan of care, we've got to bring 30 patient opportunities to your practice over a 30-day period. So if we were able to bring 30 to 40 patient opportunities per month, we should be safe to say that we would be able to add those 10 to 15 plan of care patients every single month to be able to hit our objective of $400,000 worth of revenue. Is that fair?
That is fair.
Awesome. So I just want to ask you a really question. From the point of view of growing your practice by 20%, how important or how much of a must is it, or why is it important for you to achieve that outcome? Why is it important for you to add 400 grand worth of revenue this year?
Why is it important? Because I've been working in my business way too long and I need the funds to scale and get myself out of the business so I can achieve, actually live the life that I wanted when I started a business, not a job, but be an owner that runs it and not doesn't work in it.
Awesome, awesome. So I just want to clarify here. You want to add 20% extra revenue, add an extra $400,000 of revenue. The reason why you want to do this or why it's a must for you is that you can hire, expand, and actually enable yourself to give you the freedom of time to step out a little bit to actually enjoy the aspiration of you building this practice. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else that's important to that? Is there anything else that you'd like to add to that is important?
Well, what else is important aside from actually growing my business and scaling it by 20%?
Yeah. Why else is there anything else you can think of that is really important as to why this is a must?
Why is this a must? My children are growing and I want to spend more time with them. And so this is very, it's an emotional time. I see them growing without me there. And I feel like I'm missing their childhood.
Okay. And look, and I understand family is really important to your father. And I know, the reason really why you're doing this is for them and for yourself to have those experiences and have those aspirations. So what I want to ask you, Fat, is essentially, you want to add 20% revenue. This is the objective. This is the reason why you want to do this is to expand, to grow, to have that freedom, to give yourself those choices, and more importantly, to spend more time with your family. Ultimately, you want to add another 13 patients. We need to look for about 30 to 40 opportunities for you to hit that objective over and above what you're doing right now. My big question is what is holding you back from achieving that right now? What are some of the bottlenecks that are stopping you from adding that extra 15 worth of patient plan of care right now for your business?
We do get referrals, but I think that we're not closing enough people. So people are coming in and we're just really not good at turning them from walk-ins into consistent clients.
Okay. Is there anything else that's holding you back from hitting that outcome?
Maybe, it could be that I'm the bottleneck, right? Everything revolves around me and I'm running my business and I need to do my marketing as well. And it's just, too much.
Okay, so a couple of bottlenecks there: conversion, not being perhaps diligent on converting those patients into plan of care, and the second part of that is timing. You're busy, you've got scheduled appointments, patients, and you struggle to follow up or to make sure that you're scheduling those opportunities. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what I want to do is, if I can, I'm just going to ask you a last couple of few questions, and then I'm going to let you go, Yifat.
Okay.
I really appreciate the fact that you've shared. But what I want to ask you is, say, look, at the end of the day, I know this is a must for you. Alternatively, you don't actually have a plan to do this. You've got some bottlenecks, timing, and also the fact that conversion may be an issue. But if I was to devise or create a plan, and we were to collaborate on this, like we are right now, and in that plan, I showed you how Facebook can provide you with those opportunities, those patient opportunities, how we can perhaps put in a process to qualify people or filter them a little bit better so that you can convert better on that plan of care, and ultimately enable you to be able to hire another practitioner or actually hire somebody to perhaps handle those inquiries so that you can actually see those results, see the revenue and the benefits for your practice. Would that be useful to you, Yifat?
That'd be very useful, but I have to say one thing. I need you to, I'm really worried, John, we've tried Facebook before. I've heard so many great things before. People came up with like amazing plans and we always invested in them and it didn't work. So I'm kind of like worried about, why will this be any different?
Okay, so I appreciate your concern because I understand totally. Facebook is something that is not very easy to get results with. And at the end of the day, one of the things also is the reason why a lot of Facebook campaigns don't work or for people is because, one, the strategy hasn't been correct. Number two, a campaign has not been structured properly or hasn't been given enough time to be able to perform, isn't managed, isn't set up correctly. All of those things can cause challenges to a Facebook campaign actually working. So one of the things that I want to assure you, and the reason why, and I know this is a question mark, but just to give you perspective, we already have a system that is generating hundreds of patients per month for practices right across the country. We have a system, we have a team that has been consistent and providing predictable opportunities for patients who are interested, because the only patients you want are people who have the pain and need your help and need your care.
Right.
And the idea is to give them direct access or give you direct access to those patients. So one of the things I want to be mindful of so that you understand, because alternatively, I know a lot of people have had bad experiences, and a lot of that stems from perhaps not implementing the right strategy, not having patience with the campaigns, not following through with people. The system of handling and managing those inquiries hasn't been as efficient. These are all things that can stop a campaign from working. But I want to ask you, Yifat, if I was to show you exactly how to optimize and actually get much stronger results, minimize the risk of your spend, right? But more importantly, that you know that you can actually measure and have metrics and see the results in real time so that actually it does give you those outcomes. Would that be better for you?
That'd be fantastic. I would love to see that.
Awesome. Yeah, because it's already working. Facebook is where your community is. It is direct access to your community. We can build an audience from your existing patients. These are a few technical things that I actually don't want to get into because you don't really need to know that part of it. But ultimately, if there was a way that we had a system that predictably generated 30 to 40 patient opportunities so that you can close between 10 and 15 plan of care to hit that outcome of an extra 20% or $400,000 worth of patient revenue for your practice, then obviously, if we made it easy for you to implement that plan, you'd want to do that, wouldn't you?
I would love to do that, yes.
Awesome. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. The idea of bringing these patients on and starting to get that freedom and that engagement, I just really need to know, is this something that is a must and you want to do something about it now, or is it something that you want to do later?
It's a must, but it's really, I need to see how that fits with my cash flow, my budgeting, my everything.
Great. So if I can assure you that this pays for itself, that you actually will see a direct positive ROI, and I'll show you how to get that, and we actually make it easy for you to get started. Is that okay with you?
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Tomorrow when we sit down, I want to collaborate with you. We're going to go through some of these numbers that I've already spoken about. Talk about making sure that we have a clear objective, we have a clear outcome, we have a very simple plan, but more importantly, we want to eliminate the roadblocks of time, and we also want to eliminate the roadblocks of the minimizer for conversions. Because what we want to do is we want to optimize for results rather than leaving it to chance. So at the end of that presentation, I'm going to ask you to, if you like the idea, I'm going to ask you if we can work together, and if we make it easy for you to get started, then I'd like you to make a decision. Either way, right? Because it's like a doctor. I'm going to diagnose you. I'm going to show you a plan. At the end of the day, if the plan fits, I'm going to ask you to take to seriously consider the plan. Is that fair enough?
That's totally fair. But tell me, how much is it going to cost me?
I'm glad that you asked. What if I was to say that you can actually see that this actually covers its own cost? If I was to say, so for example, we're talking about bringing $30,000 to $40,000 worth of patient revenue per month in your practice. At the end of the day, if you were to acquire those patients, right, how much, let's say, for example, and I'll ask this openly to you, if I said, Yafat, here's $30,000 worth of cash that you can take advantage of the $30,000, what would you pay to buy those patients? Because you're already paying money to acquire patients anyway, through all your other means of marketing. But if I was to say, hey, Yafat, here's the cash that's sitting in front of you, to put that cash in your bank account, right? What would you pay to acquire, let's say, a patient that's going to be investing $2,000 in plan of care? So out of the $2,000, how much would you pay to acquire a patient?
Well, I would love to pay about 10, 20%.
10, 20%. So you're roughly talking about $100 to $200 for a patient.
Yeah,
right?
that'd be great.
For a patient. So for example, if we want 15 patients, we're looking at about $2,500.
Yeah.
For 15 patients generate $30,000. So if I could show you roughly that your investment's going to be between $2,500 to $3,000 to acquire those patients, plus a modest ad spend, because we are going to market to the marketplace, as long as this is paying for itself, yeah?
Yes.
As long as this is paying for itself, right? That I'm going to show you how we can get started. Is that fair enough?
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic, actually.
Awesome. So here's what's going to happen, Yafat. I'm going to confirm the appointment right now. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Which would you prefer?
Let's start early in the morning. 9 a.m. is perfect.
Awesome. Now, I want to clarify this. Do you have a partner, or do you have a spouse, or do you have somebody in the practice that you rely on to make strategic decisions on the growth of your practice, or is it just you?
It's just me.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. So the reason I'm asking is sometimes because you're working with other people and we need to make a consideration. We also want to give them the opportunities to ask questions as well. So it's really important that they would be on the call. But because it's you, that's fantastic. So I do ask that you do show up, because in these presentations we are talking to a number of other practices in the marketplace, and we do try and make sure that we keep to our commitments of time. Is there anything that you feel that will stop you from showing up for this plan for your practice tomorrow at 9 o'clock?
No, I'll be there unless Forte Mayor happens. I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email to you right now. I've just sent you a link from my calendar to confirm the appointment. If you can just click on that whilst we're talking here on the phone, and you can see that link there. Great, that will confirm. I'm going to send you a little brief email on what we've just talked about. I'm going to send you perhaps a little video that you can view just to give you a little bit more context. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you on our call tomorrow, because I want to actually share with you exactly the plan that you want to put into place to maximize your opportunity to, one, get that 20% increase in revenue, but number two, to make this affordable, and more importantly, make it pay for itself, so that you have a predictable system that eliminates those bottlenecks and gives you what you're looking for, a steady, consistent flow of new patient revenue that also opens up to direct access referrals in the future. Yafat, thank you. I'm really excited about tomorrow's call. I'll look forward to seeing you at 9 o'clock.
Not as excited as I am.
Now, that was a lot. That took us roughly about
20 minutes. Yeah.
20 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
Normally, I would probably take that down a little bit shorter. But what I was doing is I was building rapport. right?
Yes.
You'll notice that I was answering your questions. I was feeding back to you what you said to me. I was clarifying whether this was a now thing or a later thing, so that when I was getting on the call, I'll be able to say to you. So yesterday you said, look, the idea of getting 20%, $400,000, $30,000 in plan of care, that was important to you. Has anything changed? And you go, no, I need to do this now. So in your head, you're confirming I need to do this. And this is just to give you a bit of sneak peek into tomorrow's pitch, I'm confirming to you the idea of, if I can, remember I asked you, hey, if we can make this work and we can make this work financially and we can make it easy for you, then I guess the only thing we have to do is to show you how we work together, yes?
Yep.
And it made sense. All of this makes logical sense.
It does.
So the idea of what I'm trying to do is not only am I trying to confirm the appointment, which I said, hey, got the link. Is anything going to stop you from getting there? No, great. We're going to show up. We're going to do this. It's awesome. Going to send you a little bit of information to confirm this, maybe to give you some indoctrination and context. Look forward to seeing you 9 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you on this plan. So I also qualified you on whether there is another decision maker. If there is another decision maker, then you need to make a time with that person together. And the reason for that time that you're making a time together is because you want to make sure that the other decision maker has the opportunity to meet you and also to answer questions that they may have, also because they might have a different perspective on moving ahead. So this is what I've just shared with you. If those of you are listening, hopefully you kind of got this. What I've shared with you is really how to set up the best possible appointment that eliminates any objections, that clarifies the resolve of why it's important to do this now, and also to make sure that we are actually going to be making a decision. To put up the idea to say, hey, we're going to share with you, at the end of that, I'm going to ask you whether or not we can help you. Is that okay with you? Yes. Great. So I'm asking, remember yesterday I asked if this is still for you, has anything changed? No. Great. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead, because if you like this plan, I guess the only thing we're going to do is to put it into place. Yes?
Yep.
And that is the perfect appointment presentation setup. The beginning, hey, this is why we're talking. Hey, look, let's make this real to you and relevant
Don't jump to tomorrow. Don't jump to tomorrow.
No, I'm not jumping to tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do the process. But in this process, what we've done is we've clarified why we called, we followed up, we professionally asked some questions, we built some rapport, we got some ideas of what's important. Right now, tomorrow we need to demonstrate what we do to help that person buy. So we need to follow. We're almost going to repeat a little bit of this process, but we're going to walk them through to buying in this in the 5-step process tomorrow. So you can listen to this recording and you can replicate this because at the end of the day, you'll notice that the money objection was handled. I talked about the money. They knew what it was going to cost up front, or your partner knew what it was going to cost up front. There was no real threat, like, there was no like, oh my God, that's so expensive, or, oh, look, that kind of makes sense. If you bring me 30 grand and it's going to cost me 25 to 3 grand, I'm happy to pay $200 an appointment. So these are all things that I can remind you of tomorrow. Remember you said that has anything changed? No, I understand. 30 grand, 3 grand, that's fair, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So everything is logical and plausible.
So let me ask you, what would businesses that cannot deliver a direct ROI? Because with Facebook leads and marketing, you can deliver a direct ROI. But if I'm building websites, or I'm doing content marketing, or I'm a coach or a consultant, and there's no direct, like, you're going to pay me $5,000 and you're going to make, you're going to double that. How would you do that?
Okay, so we were talking about Facebook there. Let's say we're talking about websites. Now, websites are really important, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason why most people redo websites is because they've either had a bad experience or they're not happy with what they got and they know that it's not working, right? They're finding out, this is really not representing us. Times have changed, time to do a redo, right? So if I was doing this on a website, look, at the end of the day, why is it important for you to make the changes? You're asking, why is it important for you to make the changes? And at the end of the day, what do you want this thing to do? Like, I want you to think about why this is your store. This is your shop front window to the world. And remember that 80% of the people in the marketplace are searching for you on a mobile device. And ultimately, the reason you're putting yourself, your best foot forward, or your shop front window online is you want to make it easy for them to engage. You want to make it easy for them to actually take the actions that you want them to take. And more importantly, the reason why you're putting this out there is that you want to help people to resonate, to agree, to like your brand, to connect with your message, but more importantly, to easily get the help that they need by coming to your site. These are all tangible things. And right now, of the things that I'm talking about, right, do you see where some of the things are missing right now?
Yes.
Yeah, right? So do you see that you'll notice on your current website, like every other website, it's a little bit of a brochure. And we can't really interact with the brochure. We're not actually helping people to make a purchasing decision. So what if we were actually able to say, make it easy to navigate, make it easy for them to take a direct action to every page they land on. And for your business, let's say, for example, you're in a service-based business, right? Ideally, what do you want people to do? You want people to pick up the phone and call you and inquire? Do you want people to fill in a form and provide you a little bit of information so that you can follow up and help them out and filter them out? Or do you want them to just directly or to download some information, a brochure or frequently asked questions that will help them make a better choice for your product? Or do you want them to hit the buy now button to buy your product? Of the 4 engagements, what is the most important engagement you need to come from your website when people come here? Now, if you're in a service-based business, you might say, you know what, I need them to pick up the phone and call me. Right?
Yeah.
So great. So one of the things right now is, one of the objective is we want to make it easy for people to actually do that. So when we design this and show people the opportunity, right, what we're trying to do is we want to make it easy to pick up the phone.
So what I'm hearing you say, John, is this is why you don't like scripts. You go like, I don't need the script or anything like that. I'm coming into the client. I'm asking them what they want, what's important to them, then what is it worth to them, and then they tell me, and I say, okay, I'm going to deliver it for XYZ.
Yeah, you already have a price point in mind. You already know your pricing. If you're in this business, and even if you're starting out, you can get a fair rough idea of what pricing is. That's not a difficult thing to do. However, the idea is you understand the result of what you deliver. A website is not a brochure. A website is a living, breathing platform. It is the cornerstone of your marketing online. And if it's the cornerstone of your marketing online, then it would make sense that you would devise a strategy that allows people in the navigation to get exactly what they need when they come to your site. You want to make it easy, like step 1, step 2, step 3, or pick up the phone and call me, or if you need this service, pick up the phone and call me on this number. And they scroll down, and here's a few examples of the jobs that we've done, or the customers we've had, just like them, pick up the phone and call me. So the one call to action is you want them to call, you want them to call, you want to call. You want to make it easy for them to call. So when we come to design a site, our objective, or your objective, is ultimately you want people to take the next buying decision. Would that be fair? They go, yeah, absolutely. So when we design for that type of direction.
So if the client says, can you guarantee that they're going to call, or can you guarantee that we're going to achieve that objective?
Yes, if we invite people to your website. So one of the things is, once we built this, there's 2 things that are going to happen. You might send people to your site, which is what most people do. We're going to launch it, right? Let people know. And some people are going to come there, and guess what? If you ask them to call, guess what some people are going to do?
They're going to call.
They're going to call. And if we invite people, if we then marry that up with an ad campaign to launch the site, and we are saying, hey, you're providing an emergency service, or you're providing a particular product in the market, if you're interested, based on search and based on structure, we're going to drive them to the page that is relevant to the action. So can I guarantee that you're going to get phone calls? Absolutely. Because ideally, we want to put your business in front of the freight train of where people are looking for your service.
That's fantastic. Before we run out of time, and I know you're in traffic, we have 2 questions. One is Miles is watching us, Miles Salibio or something, and he says, would you say that credibility, mine or yours, to get a customer yes is one of the most important parts of the sales process?
No. Thank you for asking that question, Miles. I think your credibility is going to come from your authority. Your credibility comes from being clear about what you offer and knowing what you're offering. Your credibility is going to come from the fact that you're taking the time to understand a person. I've worked with people straight off the bat scratch that have never sold anything their entire lives, and literally within days made an offer and generated a paying client purely because they wanted to help. So if you take that philosophy that you're there to help, more often than not, you're going to dramatically improve the chances of actually converting a client. Things like authority, things like credibility. Credibility, you can create videos to demonstrate some value. You can provide an audit. You can provide a report that builds a sense of a connection of a trust or authority. But in terms of credibility, a lot of people, everybody starts with their first client.
Yeah.
Everybody starts with their first client. I had to start with my first client. I had no credibility when I started with my first client. All I had was my experience in work, in corporate, not actually in business, right? So when I was in my own business, I didn't have case studies or a mile-long, a bunch of results that I've got. I just knew that I had some skills that I built and learned in my corporate job that were valuable, and I wanted to offer those skills. And so by just saying, hey, I want to help people out with this. Are you interested in something like this? They went, yeah, I'm interested to find out more. Great. And then say, well, can you, I showed, well, this is how it works. Can you see how this can work for you? Yes. Great. Would you like me to do this for you? Yes. Great. Would you, how much is it going to cost me? Oh, well, based on what we've talked about here, at the end of the day, our investment is this, but the return or what this is worth tangibly is roughly this. So I guess the only thing we've got to do now is, where do we go to from here? And they're going to go, well, I guess, how do we get started, right?
Yeah.
And now I know I am simplifying this conversation. I know I'm making it sound more simple, but I've practiced this, and anybody can get really great at this and practice this as well. But at the end of the day, if you have the philosophy of help, in setting up your appointment, or in this conversation that we had, you part together, at any time, was I saying something that was abrasive, against the grain? Did I make you feel uncomfortable?
Not at all. Not at all. And this is actually one of the things that I really, really love about you, John, is that you come from a place, all those questions, everything like that is from a place of help and not just for the money, right? And I know that even with working with your own specific clients, you go like, I don't want the money if they're not going to get results. So if you really come in there from a place of help, it changes the interaction, the energy, everything around it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so guys, this is the questions that, this is right now, what you heard right now, this is where you fill it up. What to say to get an appointment. John just covered those 3 questions. The 5 technologies, we kind of talked about that yesterday. We can kind of go over them in like 30 seconds so they can fill up day 4. That was text messaging, email, Facebook Messenger,
voice drops,
phone. Nobody wants to do the phone.
Direct mail, and you can automate. You can always offer. You can always have a link in there and say, hey, if you want a quick chat, grab 10 minutes on my calendar and open up 2 or 3 spots. Don't open up 50 spots on your calendar, because then it's going to show people that you're not very busy. Right? But if you're going to set up a Calendly, set up an appointment like the next day and say another 2 or 3 days, and maybe 2 spots or 1 spot on one day, just to show people that your schedule is busy. If you are a busy person, that means you're important, you have value, that other people value your time. That way, this is a psychological ploy to generate value for them. A classic example of this, and I can't remember who it was, I think it was a mentor of mine, Dan Kennedy, did exactly this, or I think it was Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan from Strategy Coach did this. When he was first starting out, he was broke. He was absolutely broke, and he was desperate for a client. And then somebody rang him, and it was like his first opportunity. And he sat there, and then the person said, great, so when can I get on your calendar? And then very easily, he could have said, now, like tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But what he did was, hang on a second, let me go through my calendar and let me flip through. And what he was doing is flipping through you can hear, all he did was open up his yellow pages and just flip through the pages. You can hear the pages rustling. So like, oh, what about Wednesday in 2 weeks' time? Right? And then all of a sudden that set the perception up of value to the person. While, wow, Dan's a busy person. Yeah, okay, great, I'll take that appointment. Right?
Yeah.
So he had to wait 2 weeks, even though he's desperate for money. He positioned the value of his time, which made it more compelling to the person to listen to what Dan's message was.
I love that. I even heard that Ryan Levesque has a waiting list on the website, right? He goes like, I don't need a waiting list. You know, I can accept everybody whenever, but he has a waiting list, right? And then after like 5 days or a week, he goes like, hey, one spot is open. Do you want it now? And then fills up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Happy to answer more questions.
Yeah,
here.
so let's get Manish, I believe. Let's see, Manish, you wanna jump in?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, John.
Hey, Manish, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for sharing all this valuable info, man. I really appreciate
You're
this.
welcome. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So,
How can I help
so,
you?
so day before yesterday, you crafted an offer for me, like for my niche market, which is
Yeah.
tattoo removal. So
Sorry, what's the niche market?
it's tattoo removal, tattoo, laser tattoo removal.
Oh, tattoo removal. Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
I sent around 100 emails to my niche
Yep,
market, and
yep.
I got 4 people interested
Awesome.
for the services. But when I follow up with them, like, do you have time this morning?
Yeah.
They went silent.
Okay, so did you call them or did you send an email back to them?
I just sent an email.
Okay, did you respond to them almost immediately or very shortly after they responded to you, or did you wait?
Oh, it's like there is gap with like 3 4 hours.
Yeah, 3 4 hours is too long. So what you've got, the thing that you can do, Manesh, very easily. What I would do is say, hey, I would actually get the phone number. I'd pick up the phone and I would call them. I would say, hey, look, I know you responded yesterday. You were interested. I just wanted to touch base with you. If you can give me a quick moment, I can let you know what that was about, and you can let me know whether or not you're still interested in doing that. So you reached out to me. I tried to reach out to you. You haven't responded on the email. I know you're busy. But I just wanted to personally introduce myself, personally follow up, touch base quickly. This is what I offered on the email. I'd love to, if you've got a moment, I'd love to be able to set a time. I've got 9 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which suits you best. And we can get on a call and talk about this properly. I know you're busy right now. That's what I would do, Manish. I would go out to picking up the phone directly. If people say yes, you want to be responding almost in minutes, because if you respond in minutes, right, in the first 10 minutes to 15 minutes or up to half an hour, your email is going to be like straight to the top of their inbox, like straight away they just replied, and now all of a sudden, bang, you're back. But if you leave it 3 hours, 3 hours allows a lot of time for other emails to go in. They can get distracted. And other things become important. So when you're doing this type of outreach, Manish, one of the easiest things to do is to respond immediately and allow them to either jump on your calendar, right, or get on the phone. Like, just say, hey, look, I saw this. I just want to introduce myself very quickly. If you can give me a moment, I can talk about how this works for you. Is that okay? They're going to say yes, great. And then you can start and have that conversation. So that's what I would do instead. 3 hours gets a little bit late. And also now you're asking them to respond to you. And so they're busy, the email is missed from other emails, so they can't connect why they responded in the first place. So this is really important, and this is why people who advertise for leads, Manish, if they don't respond in real time or as quickly as possible, or at least have some automation to respond, then the opportunity starts to diminish. The conversion rate starts to diminish. So if you're doing this type of campaigning, I know you sent out 100. You got 4 responses, which is 4%, man. That's amazing. That's a great response rate on the campaign. So congratulations on your email. But the thing is timing. So now you can still recover from this. I would reach out and just touch base and introduce yourself, and then reacquaint them with the email you sent, and then do it that way. But in the future, you want to keep an eye out for the emails. So if somebody replies, you want to set up a trigger that you get an immediate response back. And in that immediate response, it might be say, hey, thanks for the reply. By the way, if you can just click on this link, you can grab a quick 10-minute time on our calendar, and I'll hop on the call with you. So you can automate that process. Or what I would do, and this is just my preference because I want to build rapport and a relationship, I just want to hop on the phone. I want to say, hey, how you doing? This is why I sent it to you. Look, I know this is really important. I know this works, but you're in a business that's very competitive and a lot of people are looking for your services. And what I want to be able to do is to show you how you can actually engage a lot more people to make you the first choice in laser tattoo removal in your community. Is that something that will be useful to you? Yes or no, right? So there's your script. You can listen to this training again. And for those of you who are listening in, timing is really important here. Expediency, 3-4 hours, it's already way. Anything after an hour, Mahesh, that's it, you're gone. Anything after an hour, you're gone. It's too late because they're already thinking about something else. They're not on their computer, they're working, or they're removing somebody's tattoo, or they're talking and having a conversation with their staff. It disappears, okay? So does that help you?
Yes, thanks.
Awesome.
And I have one more
You
question.
asking the question. Yep.
So for the people who not responded to my emails, so do you think that I should follow up with them?
Yes, the people who open your email, I would send them an email and say, hey, didn't hear back from you. Saw that you saw my email, I didn't hear back from you. And then just say, and what I would do as a reply, rather than reply with a yes, do the reply is put the best phone number that I can contact you on. Just reply with the best phone number that I can contact you on, if you're interested. So that's what I would do with the people who didn't reply, who opened, I would do that. And then the people that opened that second email, those people I would pick up the phone. Because they opened 2 emails and they're at least interested in what you have to offer. And I would open up those emails. Okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Manish. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is great. Yeah, so we have another question from Robert, but I want to kind of circle in to what you just said. So we said 2 things. One is respond within the hour, and the second one was like close your calendar so that you position yourself as being very busy. So if you're emailing someone and you're responding right away, does that not kind of like mess up with the positioning?
No, because it means that you're being responsive to their request.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what you're essentially doing. You're being responsive to their request, and if that's the case, you're being professional. Like, if you're making an inquiry and you have to wait for thin air for that person to respond to your inquiry, then you're going to go somewhere else. But right then, if you respond quickly, you can say, "Hey, I appreciate you responding. I just wanted to quickly get back to you to make sure that we touch base and we can have a quick chat." So it makes you professional.
Gotcha.
The people who follow up and show up are the people who are going to make the sales. The faster you follow up and the faster you show up, the more faster you're going to make sales.
Okay. So, guys, be very professional. Respond right away in a phone or something. But close your calendar for like 2 days ahead. So, Robert, do you want to unmute? I'm trying to unmute you and I can't do that. If you don't want to chat, I can read your question to, oh, here you are. Okay. Hey. Do you want to turn on your camera?
I don't have it set up.
Hey, Robert.
Okay, that's fine.
Just a quick question about, I'm aware of a software that lets you put a little widget right on the site, like on a sales page or where the information is. If they have questions, they can just click on it and it calls you directly.
Yes.
You guys do that?
Yes, I would do that. I know the software. I know that there are a couple of different softwares that do that. But yeah, and you can even do direct chat as well through email when you put a click. You can start having a conversation by chat. So it's almost like you're text messaging each other, So that's a very powerful way where you don't actually have to talk to somebody. You can actually chat the conversation that I had with you, Bart, to turn into an appointment. I've done that many, many times. So that's another approach, Robert. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just like talking to people.
Yeah, so do I. So yeah, but yes, using chatbots or using a chat function to respond in real time as well, and you can do that through email with a link, that works too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is basically like using technology to, facilitate those conversations.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I was facing with technology before I knew the process, but
yeah. But yes, if you communicate in the way that people want to be communicated with, then that opens a door to what you're trying to do is you're just trying to start the conversation. That's the thing here. At the end of the day, conversations lead to sales. No conversations lead to no sales. Yes.
Indeed.
So you want to dramatically improve the opportunity of increasing conversations. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They find me conversations. They follow me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any time of the day. If I'm not careful, someone gets me.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate you being on the call.
John.
Appreciate you being here on the training.
Thank you.
And I see there's Rod, you just joined us. I don't see your microphone, but if you have a question, just put that in the chat because we're about to let John get out of the car and get dinner. So
it's in LA traffic, so this has been amazing.
I hope it's a comfortable car.
we're just helping you pass the time in traffic. And so what we cover today, guys, is how to get people on a call with you before you do the sales presentation. And what John just shared is a non-manipulative, very non-pushy way of really coming from a place of helping people. And if you can help them and if they want the help, you can get them on the phone. John, have you ever had a time where you had that type of a conversation with someone and they're going like, yeah, no, I'm not interested?
Yeah, and it's genuinely okay because some people are genuinely not going to be interested. You know, it could be a timing thing, could be their attention is not there. But I guess for me, I want to say, look, I don't want to waste your time, but I'm here to help. So if I can ask you this question, you can let me know whether or not we can continue the conversation. Is that okay with you? And then they go, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Let's do that, right? So then you can say, okay, look, how important is it for you to get better results or to have this result or have this outcome or have those things working for you? Is it really important or is it something you really don't care about? Well, no, it's kind of important. Great. Okay. So do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions to be able to help you? At the end of that, you can decide whether or not it's the right fit. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
And then you drive them back into the conversation. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So some people just want to get you off. Okay, great. But this is an opportunity. We've got a few moments. You can decide. I know you're busy. Right?
Yeah.
Some people say, hey, send me some information. Say, great, look, before I get off, look, I know you're busy. What I want to do is, maybe this isn't the right time, but if I could just ask your permission for one thing very quickly, and I'm going to let you go. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
And they go, yes. Say, look, from time to time, we actually specialize in really wanting to help people like you to get much better results or get better outcomes or have better tangible things happen. And ultimately, what we want to do is help. So rather than me take your time, and maybe this is not the right time for you, is it okay if I share with you some of the latest stuff that we know that's working? If we can share that with you or send that to you, and then every now and again, if we can just chime in, maybe get some feedback, or if you feel at some time that you can benefit from what we do, that you'll reach out to us. Is that okay with you, Yifan?
Yep. Sounds fantastic.
So now what I've done is I've asked you permission for me to give you things that are relevant to you, that are going to support what I do to help people get results. And now I've also asked you permission, is it okay from time to time that I jump in or chime in, just from a timing point of view, to see maybe if you're interested or if we can help. Is that okay with you? And they go, yes. So they've given you permission for two things. One, you can email me stuff all you like that's supportive. And number two, you can ask me for feedback or ask me if I'm interested now. So now what you're doing is you're setting up a prospect or a lead to be an opportunity down the track because they've given you permission. So it allows you to build a relationship, build some rapport, bit of context, and that will turn into a much better quality prospect. So for all of you listening, if you've built up those leads that I told you to go and get in training number 2, just because you've got the leads, you don't want to dump the leads. These are all businesses. The leads that I told you to get were qualified based on the decision maker, based on volume, based on the fact that they are spending money on advertising. These are qualified prospects. These are people who you are desirably want to build a relationship with. So you want to make sure you maintain that relationship and you want to keep that going and not lose that lead. And what I've just shared with you in the last couple of minutes on that script enables you to engage with those prospects who are in the ideal category to building that rapport and relationship and then working with them down the track. 40 to 50% of your leads will not buy straight away, but they will buy within 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
They will buy. So think about that. If I've got 10 leads, 5 of those people, if I nurture that relationship and honor and add value, 5 of those relationships are going to buy something from me in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's money.
That's a lot. Yeah. And that kind of like builds up your pipeline so you never run out of leads. Yes. So that's right. So that's great. So Miles says He likes your philosophy. It's very helpful. They want to, do I need to build credibility? And you said no. He said, I love it. No need to build the credibility. And Rod was asking, what kind of email tool can he use?
So there's quite a few. I mean, a lot of tools like MailChimp and Aweber and Infusionsoft that require you to actually have opt-ins. So if you're looking at cold email, things like one of my favorite tools, which is really good, is quickmail.io, or Mailshake is really great. It's another great tool. There's Responsify or Responsely.io. There's so many different softwares, but the two of my favorites are Mailshake and quickmail.io. And if you're going to do email using this type of automation, instead of setting up a G Suite account, what you want to set up is an Outlook email account. And if you're going to set an Outlook email account, which is free, what you want to do is, so for example, if I was setting up an Outlook account, I would say get John at consultingunleashed.net, not .com. Or John at consultingunleashed.biz or .org or .co or .ca, a different designation. And then what I would do is I would set up multiple accounts. I would have John Logar at consultingunleashed.net. I would have john.logar at consultingunleashed.net. I would have Logar, J Logar at consult. So I would have different designations. J-Lo, yeah. So I'd have different designations. So that one, it stops you from burning accounts, but two, this will give you a much stronger engagement, minimize the whole the spamming structure as well in that process. So hopefully that helps you answer that question. That's
a brilliant strategy. I was just talking about that yesterday with one of my peers, and this is amazing. Everybody who wants to do cold email, listen to this again. So we did a few things in the past 4 days. We got an offer, we got leads, quality leads, we got their phone number and their email, and we know how to engage them, the technologies to engage them and the questions to engage them. And today we covered what specifically to say for them to say, yes, I want you to give me a presentation, and I promise that by the end of the presentation, I'm going to say yes or no to working with you. You got the entire script today. Maybe we'll transcribe it. Maybe you're going to have to listen to it again. Maybe you're going to have to show up tomorrow to see what's next. Who knows? It's a mystery, right, John?
Absolutely.
But tomorrow we are going to go over the 5 steps presentation. So now that you've gone all this way so far, what you want is to have a presentation where by the end of it, they're going like, yes, I want to work with you. And that's tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here at consultingrocket.tv/live. We're going to see you there. Bring your questions, everything that you've done so far. If you have any question, concern, something you got stuck with, exactly like Mahesh did today. He sent out emails, got 25% response. How does he get them on the phone? Coming in and picking John's brain. Do the same thing tomorrow so you too can actually get closer to getting clients. John, tomorrow, are you going to be in your car? That's the mystery of the day.
So that is the mystery of the day. This is very unique. This is probably the most unique training presentation I've ever given. So for those of you who feel a little bit distracted, I apologize. I hope I've been able to give you what you need to be able to move forward. But please ask some questions in the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will jump in and respond. Also, make sure you're sharing this. If you know other people who can benefit from being part of this, from this training, please do share, because that's going to give you some points as part of the game to win some of the prizes we have here. And tomorrow I'm really looking forward to sharing how you actually bring this home and bring clients on board.
Yay. And one last shout out to Lauren, who passed Francis, and she's now #1. Francis, challenge, here's your mission if you choose to accept it. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much, John. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.